Welcome to WagerTalk Today, everybody. Love having you here. If you've never watched this show, we are a group of some of the best sports bettors on the planet. We do a 45-minute show and we give out information on, well, how to make some money. Today we got Kyle Anthony. He's going to tell you exactly how to make money on the upcoming UFC card. Adesanya is fighting on that card, so it should be a good one. Kyle's going to take apart a couple of those fights. Andy Lang, after that, he's got some prop bets for us in pretty much every single sport that is going on, excluding cricket. Dave Sherapan might be here. He might not. It's always a surprise with Dave. We'll find out when it happens. I'll let you know as soon as I know. And we're going to end the show with the wonderful Giani the Greek. I'm Lawrence Presman, co-founder of WagerTalk, best sports betting content site on the planet. Let's start right now with Kyle frickin' Anthony. How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Doing good, Prez. Doing good. A week off last week. Normally we don't have too many of those with UFC, but we got a stacked lineup coming up. I know football is, it's starting to trail to the end of it. I know everyone's excited about Super Bowl, but we got a lot of UFC coming up after that.
For me, and it's funny, like my parents just don't pay any attention to what I do for a living. Every year, I think I've been in this industry for over 30 years, and every year without fail, I get a call. Super Bowl is this coming week. It's your biggest week of the year, your biggest game, right? Your biggest game, yeah? No, it's the smallest game. It's one game. Most people don't need our help. They're all going to guess by themselves. So, no. As far as I'm concerned, Kyle Anthony, football is over. So let's get into some sports betting info in regards to fighting. Now, obviously, I'm a fan of anybody named Israel, and he's fighting a Nursum Dorma Imavova. How do we attack this?
All right, so in the main event here, we've got Israel Adesanya, the former champion, minus 160. On the comeback here, you've got Nasruddin Imavov. He's around the plus 140 mark. Now, the big question here leading into this fight, everyone's asking, is Adesanya washed? Is he done? Is this the decline of Israel? Now, he is 1-3 out of his last 4, and you can give him a little respect on it because he lost to current or former champions there, Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis, which Dricus was a 5% client play winner at plus 120. But now he's 35 years old. He's taken a lot of damage over the years, a lot of wear and tear. He's had combat sports and kickboxing, now MMA, a long, long career here. Now you're looking at stylistically, really, overall, what Adesanya are we going to get? Normally, he's a guy that's going to be creating space, working at distance, mixing up targets on the body, great distance management. But there's two big issues for me here on the Adesanya side. And I think the first one's going to be the killer instinct. He used to be a guy who's going for the kill. He had great combinations and he would go for it. Now it's at the point really where he kind of seems like that's taken a tick down, even against Strickland. Strickland threw basically a 1-2 combination, moved forward, and that was it. And he was able to drop Adesanya. Strickland doesn't drop anybody. And it was normally a guy Adesanya should be able to beat. And then even after that, the other part of this is the cardio and the gas tank. It doesn't look that good. Again, against Strickland, he was getting smothered. He had no answers. He was wilting later in that fight. Same thing against Dricus. He was wilting as the fight was going on and even kind of gave up a little bit at the end of it. And then he just took his back, got the submission. But now you've got Nasruddin Imavov, who's a guy that can dictate the pace a little bit, who's going to come forward, is a guy that also is going to bring the pressure. He's going to look to move forward. He can keep Israel on that back foot, going to make it a little bit more tougher. And also the fact that he can mix in takedowns. Now, even with Imavov, the V being the last name, he's not going to dive at legs for 5 rounds, but I do think he can mix it in, and the upside of the finish is going to be more on Imavov. I think he's the more dangerous guy. So in this spot here, I got to go Nasruddin Imavov. I think that the line is good at plus 140, and I think this could be the end of Adesanya, but we shall see on Saturday.
Kyle Anthony joining us, everyone, and Kyle bringing to the table the world famous, almost guaranteed money of the angle of the V ends his name. So, And we should do. I listen, Kyle. Joking aside, if a V ends your name, you're likely going to win in the UFC. Is that correct?
Well, and this is also going to be in Saudi Arabia, so that is going to be a little bit, you can't really bank on that, but it's definitely an angle people like to, kind of lean into a little bit.
Well, the next fight we're talking about has a V as well. Shara Medov, whatever. Michael Page. Go ahead.
So let me take
hold
over.
on a second. Is that a real picture, or did Dan take that guy and turn him into a Taliban fighter?
He actually has one eye. He actually has one eye that works. So take that what you will. But in this fight here, we have Sharamagomedov minus 180. On the comeback here, you've got Michael Page plus 155. Now, this should be a great striking matchup here. Both these guys are going to keep it on the feet, and they're going to want to throw down. Now, you've got Shara on the one side here, 15-0, good striker, a lot of flashy stuff that he does throw. And, he can mix up combinations, at times can throw some powerful shots. But the big red flag, not the fact that he just has one eye, but the big red flag is really going to be the fact that, he's a type of guy that just is wild. He just can throw combinations out of position. He's winging combinations. This is a guy that can be countered, open for those counters. And, he's got a 42% striking defense, not very good, very hittable in the pocket here. And now he's about to face a guy who is a step up in competition in Michael Page. Shara has fought really low-level guys overall, a lot of bums. And now you've got, Page, who is very calculated, who's, got great timing, faster hands. And the biggest thing really with Michael Page is his unorthodox style. He's a guy that has a different type of movement, hard for fighters to really get a beat on him. And he can be low volume at times, but he's a guy that definitely makes it difficult for fighters. He's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage. And mostly I was impressed with his last two fights, first two fights in the UFC. First, he fought Kevin Holland. Now, say what you will of Kevin Holland. He's got terrible, takedowns and all those other things on the grappling side. But striking is good. He's long. He's rangy. And it was a good fight between these two guys. I thought they, really had a good fight. And then you have Page getting the win. Most recently, he fought Ian Gary. Ian Gary's a high-level fighter, great distance management of his own. And it was a very close fight. He frustrated Ian early in that fight. Really, the way that Gary got the win was takedowns. He was able to secure 2 takedowns, 8 minutes of control time. Even though strikes landed was 21-19 for Page in that fight, you did get Ian Gary the win. But overall, I got to go Page here. I know the V. I know we're talking about Prez. I'm going against the V here. But I just think he is way better than Shara. And unless there's going to be some iffy scorecards, I do like that plus money on Page.
There we go. Kyle Anthony. Outstanding stuff. Kyle is so good at the UFC, guys. He likes Imavov plus 140, Page at plus 155. You only need to win one of those to make money. And Kyle does have a promo code KICK10. That is KICK10. You get $10 off of his UFC Saudi package. Kyle, what do you have up for the clients for this coming Saudi card?
So this weekend, have a 4% play up, have a couple plus monies in there as well. And like I said, football, Prez is already saying football's over, but we got one more game of football. And then we got to have 11 straight UFC events on Saturday. A lot of great cards coming up, not just entertainment, but really some good spots to place our money. So again, if you want to jump in on this one, get $10 off, kick 10. And we're going to, as football's winding down, the UFC is about to heat up.
There we go. Don't sleep on Kyle Anthony's UFC picks, everybody. Use that promo code KICK10. Check him out. Kyle, take your handsome mug and get the hell out of here. Thanks for doing this, brother. Guys, fun show. We've got Andy Lang still to come, as well as Gianni the Greek, and a potential appearance from Dave Sharapan. We also have a site-wide offer. It's a year package. It's Super Bowl to Super Bowl. So we will throw in, obviously, all the days upcoming prior to the Super Bowl. So the faster you buy it, the more bang you get for your buck. This is a package where you get an entire year of any handicapper of your choice for only $1,199. I would consider using it on guys like Andy Lang, honest to God. If you're going to buy one of these full season package, full year, calendar year packages, they got to be good in everything. They can't be good in NHL and shitty in NBA, or you're gonna get bitten. So you got to find a handicapper that is making money in almost all the sports. And Andy Lang, year after year, is doing exactly that. Top 3 most profitable expert. Basically, every single year he's been on this website. So that is my opinion. I would use that 1 year all access package on Andy Lang. Andy, what do you think about that?
You're 100% right. That's what we do. We try and turn a profit in a lot of sports. We're not going to be someone that has like 150 units in one sport. We're going to have 20 units in this sport, 30 units in this sport, 15 units in this sport. So yeah, we try and preach like invest in us long term. We've been building bankrolls for years. And we do it just in a lot of sports. It's one of the reasons why I come on this show is I like to talk about a lot of different sports every single day, just showing that there's a lot of money and a lot of profits to be made in all these different sports. So absolutely jump on board with that one. We got a 5% UFC play that goes off this Saturday. So you get NBA, NHL, everything. Highly recommend.
Andy Lang. Andy, so yesterday we spoke a bunch about yacht rock. I had watched the documentary and I'd asked a lot of people, what are your favorite yacht rock songs, et cetera, et cetera. So really what I learned yesterday after reading the comments section is I don't know how to spell yacht.
Big takeaway, yeah.
Jimmy Buffett is not yacht rock. And a lot of people like that music a lot. So, yeah, it was a fun segment, but we will move on. But yes, my spelling is horrendous, Andy Lang. Okay, speaking of spelling, Samaji Perrine. You got to bet
Samaji
for us.
Ryan? Yeah.
Well, me and my listen, it's a good thing your name is Andy Lang because I can't screw that up. Andy Langamomanoff joining us, everyone. Andy, how do we this gentleman, Samaje, he is a wide receiver, and you have a bet for us on him in this upcoming running back wide receiver.
All right. I'll take it from here. Yeah, we're going Samaje Perine over 6.5 receiving yards. It's a gift that keeps on giving. He has gone over this in 16 out of 19 games this season. He's gone over in 14 out of the last 15 games, which is insane. The Eagles give up 34 yards receiving to running backs. That's 19th in the league this season. And this number is down from last week. It was 8.5 last week. And what did we see from the Kansas City Chiefs? They always have this designed play to Perine coming out of the backfield, and it's always in a really big situation. A 3rd and 8, a game to ice the game. It took forever to get the over last week, but when it came down to it, they had that play in their back pocket. They used it, and he is dynamite out of the backfield. Very sure-handed. He doesn't drop it. And in a game that I think is going to be really, really close, you're going to need these short plays to convert the big 3rd down, to convert the big 4th down. And Andy Reid and Mahomes are so good at drawing up these plays. You only need one. He's been doing it all season. Again, cashes in 14 out of the last 15 games. Just rinse and repeat with Samaje Perine. And he's probably only going to have one catch, but it's going to be like one catch for 13 yards on like 3rd and 7. One of those types of things. So I'll just keep playing Samaje Perine over his receiving yards.
Yeah, and as we've seen with the Chiefs, I mean, they're really struggling to run the ball. And what do you do when you struggle to run the ball? You throw to backs coming out of the field on wheel routes. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Andy Lang, everybody. Andy, NBA tonight, you've got a prop bet for us on that. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Darius Garland will take over 2.5 made threes. He did not play last night, so he's rested. Guy's been shooting a lot, and he's been shooting it accurate. He's gone over in the last 5 games, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 3 in the last 5 games. He's averaging 8 3-point attempts in those games. He gets a really good matchup against a Hawks team that they're just injuries, and their season has started to really fall off the rails. So I think this is a really good spot, despite the fact that Cleveland's on a back-to-back. Here's the other nice thing. He's shooting 43% from threes this year, but he's shooting 48% from threes at home. He's gone over in 11 out of the last 12 home games. So I like Garland, well-rested, to have a nice game tonight. Take his over 3-pointers.
Andy, Paco Healy, one of the listeners in our chat room, really appreciate you guys in that chat room. Also, guys, please, as John Clark says, hit that like button before I go on tilt. So please do that. But anyway, Paco writes, have you seen Chiefs-aholic? It's a movie. I think it's close to 2 hours. It's on Amazon Prime, if memory serves. I have not seen it. Have you? And should I?
I have not seen it. I just got done doing American Primeval on Netflix, which was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So I'm deep into Rogue Heroes season 2, which is like Rogue Heroes is one of my favorite shows, but I'm World War II obsessed, Andy. So just to let you know, I mean, if there was one, if anyone said, Prez, we only have one show in history of shows to watch, only one, period, what would it be? It would be World War II in color. 12 episodes, the story of World War II. It's on Netflix. That would be the single, like Mount Rushmore. It's not on Mount Rushmore because it wouldn't share its greatness with other people. It stands alone as the single greatest piece of entertainment. It's not entertaining, but you know what I mean. Ever. World War II in color on Netflix. So I'm obsessed with World War II. So Rogue Heroes, story of the SAS. But Primeval is next, Andy, and I can't wait to watch it. And I went on a full-on FLDS binge like 4 or 5 years ago. I read the life story of Warren Jeffs. I read the life story of BYU, Thomas Smith. I am fully ensconced in the Mormon religion, other than I'm not Mormon, but I'm fascinated. So I can't wait to watch that documentary.
Not a ton of religion, just a lot of killing, just a lot of action scenes.
No, I get it.
Not real heavy on the religion, but pretty high on the killing and the story.
So
it's great.
So in other words, like all religions.
Pretty much. Okay, maybe it does have a lot to do with religion. It was well done. It was well done.
Nothing to do with religion, only killings. Oh, yeah, like those two things are mutually exclusive. Anyway, before I get into trouble, Mike Matheson, hockey. You got a prop bet for us on him. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Prez, the Canadians can go on some pretty bad scoring droughts, so we'll take Mike Matheson under half a point here. He has one game with a point in the last 11. He's only averaging 2 shots on goal. The Canadians have only scored 6 goals total in their last 3 games. They get a Minnesota Wild team that's playing pretty good defense last couple games, as you know. Allowed 3 goals total in their last 2 games. I think they only allowed 1 to your Maple Leafs. And the big thing, Matheson's not on the first power play line. So anytime we get these guys at reasonable price that are not on the very first power play line, that's very, very limited opportunities to score. So pretty good juice. I think I may play this one for the next few games. He's on a cold streak. Canadians not putting up a ton of goals. This is a pretty good matchup. So take the under on Matheson tonight.
Eddie Lang, I know we don't have any dart bets scheduled for today, but we got to talk darts, bro.
Yeah, sure. We have a darts video up that is actually on the YouTube channel. We have a new show. It's called The Checkout, and we'll be breaking down darts. Next week, Prez, the Premier League starts. It's every Thursday. That's going to be every Thursday for months. So we got you covered with darts. I gave out a free play yesterday. It was the over 5.5 180s on the Humphreys-Cullen game. So if you want some more free bets, there is a dart show now on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. We are the pioneers of your dart betting info. So the matches start here in a little bit, and anything we have to give out for free, we'll certainly do that. I'll see if I have anything for tomorrow's show.
Wonderful stuff. And anything to promote? I promoted the shit out of you at the top, but we are waiting on guests. So Mike's yours.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get the year's pass. We highly recommend that. I know it's a little bit expensive, so you just want 30 days. We've got that knocked down to $6.63. Prez, yesterday we were plus 3.5 units in the profit. If you'd have got it yesterday, you've paid that off, and now you're just in the profit. So we're on a 23-5 run in the last 9 days. We talked about how our year got started off rough. We did some deep dive into what's working, what's not working, and we have completely righted the ship and then some. 5% UFC play is Saturday. You'll get all of our darts plays, tennis plays, soccer, NBA, NHL, and, of course, all of our Super Bowl props. Don't go out and just get one package. Really, take advantage of these specials that we put up there. The prices per day and per play are just unbelievably discounted. So if you're interested in a year, and you want to do like a consultation, leave a comment. I'd be happy to reach out to you and talk about it. I know it's a big investment, or if you just want 30 days, it's discounted down to $6.63. But that expires tomorrow. So get on it soon. That way you can take advantage of all the plays. So
there we go. Andy Lang, everybody. Thanks for doing this, brother. We'll see you tomorrow. Guys, we've still got Gianni the Greek to come and maybe Dave Sherripan. Before we get into that, I'm going to take apart every single NHL game on the board like I did yesterday. I did lose my client play yesterday on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tough loss, empty netter 3-1, but right in it all the way to the end. It happens. We have lost 2 NHL games in a row now, but we're still on a nice 23-8 NHL run. I got one play up for my clients tonight, which I love. It's a 3% play, so check that out. But I am rolling again in college hoops, everyone. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. I told you guys flat out, don't bet my college hoops. I told you guys the last 2 seasons I've been killing it in college hoops, absolutely destroying the books, and we've really had a rough go this year. And wait for me to turn it around. And when I do turn it around, I'm gonna roll, and it has happened. We are on a big college basketball run finally, and the NBA hot as hell as well. So I'm in must-play mode across the board. Okay, hit that like button, everybody, and let's get into every single NHL game of the board. We're going to start right off the bat with Carolina. Minus 145 against the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks are anywhere from plus 360 to plus 400. The total in this game is 6. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is a ton of value on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, I get it. 16, 29-5 on the season versus one of the best teams in hockey, Carolina, 31, 16-4. But this is a shitty spot for Carolina. Firstly, they're on their first game back from a small road trip, but they did play the New York Rangers in their last game, and that is a tough team to play against. This is that was a rivalry game, and a team that they've really had a lot of back and forth with. That's a game that they really, really wanted to win. They came out, they destroyed the Rangers 4-0. They've won 5 of 6. I feel like this is a letdown spot for Carolina. So much value at plus close to 400 with the Chicago Blackhawks. Next up, we're going to look at Winnipeg and Boston. And I'll tell you right now, I like the over in this game. Flat out, guys. Now, I understand taking the over in a Winnipeg game feels tough. But, man, this Winnipeg team is scoring at will. 4-5-5-3. This team has put up 17 goals in their last 4 games. That's more than 4 goals a game. And although they are playing good defensively, teams are still putting up 2 goals, 3 goals a game on them. Boston just allowed 7 to Buffalo. And this Boston team is also scoring. I mean, they only put up 2 against Buffalo, but if you go back over their last 10 games, this is a team that's averaging slightly under 4 goals a game. Total is 5.5. Take the over. Montreal and Minnesota. We got Minnesota in a back-to-back here. They beat the Leafs last night, and then they flew to Montreal. Montreal is well rested right now, and although they are a fade team moving forward for me, this is a really good spot for them. Montreal minus 135. I like that tonight, and I think Minnesota will be tired. I also like the under in the Montreal-Minnesota game. Tampa Bay is playing the Kings, and the Kings are plus 131 here, guys. And I'll tell you right now, I think there's value at the Kings at plus 131. 130. I mean, this is a 26-16 hockey team. And I know they're playing a 26-20 hockey team, but Tampa Bay is not a good team. They've lost 2 in a row, and I think this Tampa Bay team is a fade team moving forward. Los Angeles has lost 3 in a row, all on the road. I think they right that ship at plus money. That there's so much value there. Take the LA Kings. Then we've got Washington and Ottawa. I better start moving quickly. Washington and Ottawa, like the under in that game. Washington gone under 10 in a row. Ottawa 5 in a row. These are the 2 biggest under teams in the league. They're playing against each other. Take under the total. I like the New York Islanders at minus 135. They won 5 games in a row, and they are sorry, Dan was just talking to me. They've won 5 in a row and finally starting to roll. I got nothing on Anaheim on Calgary. I like Edmonton minus 1.5 against Detroit. I like Vegas minus 1.5 against Columbus. I got nothing with Seattle and San Jose. Daniel, who is my next guest?
Well, it's supposed to be Gianni, and yes, they can hear me if you're wondering. It's supposed to be Gianni. It's supposed to be Sherapan. I've contacted both of them, and currently both of their boxes are black, Prez. So neither of them are here.
So why did I just run through that so quickly?
That's what I was thinking.
Let's take apart every NBA game on the board, shall we? Not Dan, in all seriousness, dude, that was not bad, man. I ran through every game, no notes, no nothing.
I was genuinely impressed. Come
on, dude.
If that doesn't get you, Prez, if that doesn't get you at least one hockey sale, people aren't paying attention. I mean, you just broke down every single game for free. No, that was strong stuff out of you, brother.
Justin P., you want me to break down the Vegas game in more detail? Okay. I was on Vegas 2 nights ago. They lost to Dallas. Listen, that was a tough loss, too. They played really, really good hockey. But I'll tell you right now, Vegas is a bet-on team moving forward, period, end of story. They've lost 6 of their last 8 coming into tonight's matchup. And these are the things that we need to look for, both in the NBA and in the NHL, are really good teams coming out of a slump. They normally will go on, win 4, 5, 6 straight. Vegas is in that exact spot, and Columbus is in the inverse spot. Columbus is a bad hockey team who has played really well all year and who is rolling right now, 7-2-1 in their last 10. Tough spot for Columbus. To me, I think Vegas is by far the better hockey team. And I also have a college basketball client play that I'm going to give out right now on the show. And if no guests show up, I'll likely end up giving out every client play on the show today.
That's the Prez difference right there, man. That's the Prez difference.
So, with that said, here is a college basketball play that is going out to my clients and I am personally betting, and it is Montana minus 3.5 against Portland State. This Montana team has owned Portland State, and I don't see why anything changes tonight, guys. The last time these 2 teams met, Montana beat them by 9. Montana is now 10-1 at home this season, and the Portland State team have struggled on the road. So we got a really good home team, a shitty road team. We have a matchup that favors Montana State, and we have a short number. Take Montana. Take Montana minus 3.5 versus Portland State. Bill, am I giving out my next college basketball play, or do we have a guest?
I'm on the horn here with Gianni and Sherapan. Sherapan has now officially joined the shit list. I think that's fair to say. Gianni, I mean, you know Gianni. Gianni will be here with a vengeance. It's just getting him to be able to work his computer. So Prez, We're working on it behind the scenes. I'm not just sitting back chirping people in the chat room. I'm actually doing production work back here. So I'm doing all I can for you.
Well, that means that we have to give both my client college basketball plays out for the night.
These people want guests to not show up more often, Prez. Holy
hey,
shit.
brother. These are my listeners, Dan. These are the
people.
Love you. They take time out of their day to join me every day, 12 to 1. I will gift them back. So we have 2 college basketball plays up for my clients. We are on a roll in college basketball right now. We gave out Montana at -3.5. The next play, I would put a slightly larger wager on, only because my college basketball totals are sick, and they have been all year. The one thing that has been going really great for me in college hoops is my totals. And I got a total for you guys over 154.5 in the South Dakota State and North Dakota State game. So South Dakota and North Dakota, 2 places that you can find in Dakota, are playing against each other. And I like the over. And we're getting great value on this number. And I know it's like great value on over 154.5. Yeah, great freaking value. The Jackrabbits have found themselves playing to a few unders lately because they've played some really slow-paced teams. But, man, the Rabbits are not a slow-paced team, and they are looking to play to the over. Now they take on the Bison, who have scored below 85 points in Summit play only once. Only once! I don't expect this to be a slow game. I think we're going to see a ton of speed in this game. I think this number should have been somewhere around 158. There's a shit ton of value at 154.5. I like this bet all the way up to 156. Take over the total in South Dakota State and North Dakota State. Gianni, I only had one NBA play left for my clients that I was about to announce. So welcome to the show.
Sorry, brother. Remember I talked about it last week that I was hooking up with a group that I was working with about 5-7 years ago, and it's taken me a little bit to get the accounts in order for them to get down, because I have to be able to get them down 5 dimes or they ain't going to give me the stuff. Well, I'm getting the stuff. And I got a ton of college basketball today, sides and totals, 1 NBA, 1 NHL. So I'm ready to rock and roll, brother. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, listen, Sean Burley writes, everybody better be liking this video. Yes, Sean, I concur. Everybody should be liking this video. I sell college basketball for a living. I just gave my actual product away for free. So please like this video. We're only at 52 likes, 200 of you watching. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay, Gianni. So, let's start with college hoops. You got a list of plays that the syndicates are on. Let's hear about it.
Let's go, brother. Coming off a nice 3-1 for subscribers, 17.2 units over the last 7 days, 23.2% ROI, already up for 2025. Going to be a banner year. Jump on board. Start off 836 Long Beach State plus 17 in multiple accounts. Long Beach State plus 17, 758 Monmouth plus the 4. 789, South Dakota State plus the 3.5. 824, Cal State Bakersfield minus the 3. 821, Sacramento State plus the 12. 813, Idaho plus the 3.5. 816, Denver plus the 5. Couple totals for you. 749. Oh, also 749 Stony Brook plus the 16 in that same game. Over 145.5. Over 146. 842 under 142.5. Seattle, Grand Canyon, 787, over 145. Liberty, Kennesaw State, 829, over 143.5. Portland, Loyola Marymount, and I'll give you 803, over 154. Illinois, Nebraska. That's what we got already in college basketball, and rest assured, they will be firing throughout the later afternoon once the public starts getting involved and they knock some of these lines out of whack. Offer us a little bit of value. So that's what we got in college basketball. Real quickly, Orlando minus the 4.5 in the NBA. And in NHL, which hasn't been doing very well, I haven't been piggybacking it for subscribers, but they are on game 2, Ottawa minus the 105. If you ever come in on a hockey that we've confirmed, it's hit. So I wait to hear anything like that from someone that actually follows the sport a lot more than I do. So if I ever see confirmation from some of the guys I respect in hockey, that's the time I fire.
So Gianni, right off the bat, I love Ottawa. I will not allow myself to play Ottawa because, and I don't know if you do this, Gianni, but I just have not been able to get anything on or against Washington correct all year. So I've just pulled away from that team completely. But I do love Ottawa. I think it's a great spot to bet. And it's interesting, Gianni, because it's not a bet. I don't think whoever you're getting this great info from, I don't think they're betting Ottawa. I think they're betting against Washington. And it's a really, really horrible spot for Washington. I mean, look, they had a big win last win, 3-1 against Calgary, and they had that was on the West Coast. This is the first East Coast game since a long West Coast trip. Usually that's fade time. And plus, Washington has been rolling. I think they've won 6 of 7 or 5 of 6. Bad spot for Washington. Speaking of which, Gianni, do you find, as a bettor, are you more interested in betting on teams or against teams?
I love the question because it's a little bit of both. I do that more with MMA that I like, 80% of the stuff comes from myself and I even talk about it a lot of times on UFC on the Line where I say this isn't a fade of fighter A, it's a bet on fighter B. And you have to approach it sometimes because, again, you're taking your bias out of the way when you do that. You really don't have an opinion either way. You're just saying, I really like this side, irrelevant of the other side. Kind of like you said with the Washington. If you're not getting, if it's not going your way, you got to pull back and just cut it off. Real quickly, the guy I'm talking about, the group that I'm working with now, I had the worst baseball season last year. And he's like, dude, I'm so sorry because we had one of our best baseball seasons. And here's why. The first half of the season, they crushed it. They got up so many units. But into the second half of the season, he said, we were betting over 7 and it was ending 1-0. We were betting under 11.5 and the score was like 13-6 by the 6th inning. He's like, once we saw that the model was broken for whatever reason, whether it's rule change, whether something changed, we just stopped betting it. So we ended up this many units ahead. You got to be able to do that when you see something isn't right, whether it's your model, whether it's a team that you're just not able to get a grip on. Stop fighting that uphill battle. Look at the ones that are giving you a much easier time to predict. That's what I've learned because I used to do that and be like, dude, I can't be that off with this team. They have to get, my opinion can't be that off. But sometimes it just is. You just ain't getting the right feel, just ain't seeing the right things, or they're defying probability or, outperforming the betting market. And sometimes that could go on for a while. So my advice is if you don't feel confident, you don't have that conviction, and you almost feel like you're guessing, just don't bet it. Just don't bet it because we always have to lay 11 to 10, man. We're always paying an admission. Don't forget that for every bet, win or lose, you are paying an admission price. So you have the ability to be selective. Be selective. Don't guess.
There we go. Giani the Greek joining us. Man, you kill it. So, Gianni, I've been writing some stand-up comedy. 2025 is going to be the year I'm going to hit the open mics, dude.
Do it, bro. Do it.
Yeah, I've got about 20 minutes of material already written. I'm going to start. I'm going away on Friday for a week, but when I get back, I'm actually going to start doing open mics. But I've been working on a concept that I want to throw out to everybody. And maybe you guys can help me with all the punchlines because I think I have a real interesting, humorous concept, but I really need work on, the inverted triangle. I've got the concept and now I need help to just, nail it down to the punchline point. So the concept is, Siri on your phone, like, hey, Siri, do this. Hey, Siri, do that. Well, you can change the voices. You can have Siri talk to you in a British accent. You can have a female Siri, a male Siri, an Indian Siri, a South African Siri, whatever the case may be. I thought it would be interesting if Siri not only answered you as a female, but what a female. So if you have Siri up as like a male, right? And you'd be like, hey, Siri, where do I go for dinner? Siri would answer, wherever your wife tells you. If you had Siri up as a female, you'd be like, hey, Siri, where do I go for dinner? Then you'll have, whatever you want, but not that place, but not that place, but not that place, but not that place, but wherever you want, but not that place or that place. You see where I'm going? You'd be like, hey, Siri, am I fat? Am I about to get in trouble? You know, it answers you in its gender. What do you think?
True.
Is there something there?
Anyone in any long-term relationship or married relationship understands it 110%, or anyone that's trying to hook up. Listen, we all tell those little white lies. Honey, does this dress make me look fat? Absolutely not. We do that as well. Women just have I'm not going to make it gender, not want to piss anybody off, but I know exactly where you're coming from with that. And I think you need to narrow that down and nail that one, because it's a joke everyone's going to get. Again, whether you're in a long-term relationship or have been in one or have been married or are married, we all get it, that there are gender-specific replies that you could tell just from the reply. You don't even have to hear the voice. If you read it, you will be 9 out of 10 times. You will be able to conclude whether a male said it or a female said it. Absolutely love it, dude. That's a joke you could work around a few minutes that I think will be really good. Just iron it out. That's all you got to do. And I think your stage presence will be funny, Prez. I think you're like the way your personality. Don't be shy. Have fun. And I promise you, people will laugh, because whenever I'm around you, I laugh. Like you're instinctively funny without really trying to be. So I think if you put some thought into it and create some jokes, I think you should give it a run, bro. I think you'll have, the worst happens is you have a good time. That's the absolute worst that can happen. Smash that like button.
Well, I appreciate all of those kind words, Gianni, and I'm convinced that there is a whole routine somewhere in that Siri responding thing. And I'd love to hear from you guys out there. Bill Sandoval, I'll pretend to laugh at Prez's jokes if he continues to throw out winners. See, Bill is a comedian too, Gianni.
Everybody's got a streak of humor in us.
Yeah, everyone is a comedian, hey? What else you got for us? And any promotions you want to do?
Indeed, my Super Bowl pass is already up with a 5% big move in there. I don't want to number one in props. I'm really high on the Super Bowl props. The results are there on the package. Check it out at WagerTalk.com. Go on my page. It's already up. The 5%, like I said, it's already in there. More props will be coming. I'm really focused on nailing the side and the total, but I want to do really well on the props again this year. Staying selective. UFC package will be up later today. Huge UFC card in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. And other than that, man, I'm excited about college basketball. We're finally in that groove where I'm able to narrow it down to those 3, 4, 5 plays that I think still offer the most EV. So far, results have been good, man. Coming off a losing year. I tell you when I win, tell you when I lose. And I lost last year. Second time in 10 years. I'm not due, but best years came after a negative. So I'm excited for this.
Hey, the best weather comes after a storm. Giani the Greek, everyone. Love having you on. Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Daniel, come back on, Daniel. Daniel,
what's up?
You know my from the back. That's
yeah. I don't know if we can share that one. That's for the club, not WagerTalk Today. Yeah.
But that is, so I've got a role play routine. I got a from the back routine. I got a how to pleasure your man routine. And then the Siri routine. Those are the four routines.
It's strongly building. I will say, next time, just throw the jokes at Gianni. Like, don't tell him, hey, I'm going to tell you a joke now, right? Just get right into it. You would have caught him off guard. You would have had him rolling. I understand what you were doing, but don't even tell him you're doing the stand-up next time. Just go right into it. Yeah.
Love you, Dan. Guys, tomorrow's my last show for a week. Make sure to join us 12 o'clock Eastern time. So fun today. Thanks for being here, everybody. Really enjoyed today's show so much. And please help develop that Siri joke for me. Really, we're going to do this. I'm going to do stand-up this year, and I'm going to do the writing process like we just did on air with you guys so that we can all work together and make me the next Bill Burr. See you all tomorrow.